And then back to Iguodala to the rim. Oh, great block. James out of nowhere, skies to the rim. Oh, Boyd took the advantage and played off from inside the center square. Boyd kicked the goal. Boyd kicked the goal from inside the center. Here's Aloisi for a place in the World Cup. He's hands right back up.
Live it, breathe it, love it. All sports, double coverage.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to Double Coverage. Hope you still living, loving, and breathing sport. I'm Dom with the great man, Sauce. What's happening, mate?
What is happening, mate? It's been a big week in sport, as usual, on the run into AFL Finals. The Blues scraping by the skin of their teeth at no absolute skill of themselves as they fumbled the ball against St Kilda. Jackie Higgins, nearly upset their whole season. But they scrape in by the skin of their teeth, obviously, with Fremantle not being able to get the win over Port Adelaide over there in Perth. But nonetheless, it was a lot of action, many different sports, which we'll talk about, Doma. And a bit happening. Stick around, ladies and gentlemen, because obviously in Hobby Talk, we will have plenty to talk about.
But also, Sauce, welcome to Kevin as well, who's joined from Florida. Kevin Hawthorne, he's a new regular on the show, so welcome to Kevin. And also, we gave him a footy team a couple of weeks back when he joined the first time. The Hawthorne Hawks.
Hawks only makes sense.
It only makes sense. And I tell you what, they are flying. And we were hoping that great man would join us in the chat today, Global, because you're going to get flamed in about 4 seconds by Sauce. You could get a lemon, seriously, from Sauce. James, welcome. Saucy, have a chat to him. Tell him what he's done.
Global, always a pleasure to have you in the chat. But, mate, we brought back Off the Grid for one man and one man only, and that was you. And we didn't see you in the whole stream on the other night, Sunday evening. What the hell happened, dude? What the hell happened? Where were you? Where were you?
I can't believe it. Cardier West, what's happening, mate? Hope you're well. Also, so stick around definitely at around probably 10 to 8, I reckon. So in about 25 minutes, maybe 30 minutes or so, we actually have one of the organizers from the Oz National, which is coming up on the 13th of October at Marvel Stadium, jumping on to give us a bit of an info about the upcoming show. It's good that he's coming on live. So if you're in the chat, you can obviously ask some questions as well. If we miss anything in the questions we ask, it's going to be very brief. He's got a limited amount of time, but he's been grateful enough to come on to talk about the show, which is what we love, mate. This is what we do in Double Coverage, mate. We get the people on when we have to explain shows, and
exactly right.
So which is really good. So stick around. That is coming in around 30 minutes or so, hopefully. So fingers crossed. But we'll jump straight into it, Sauce. As you did mention, AFL Finals around the corner. They're here. Thursday, Sauce. Thursday is the first game. We're not going to even bother going through the game. Saucy summed up the round. All we cared about was the Blues. So they made it. They probably they should get thumped, really. But I'll mention something very interesting about that when we get to that game. But Thursday night, 7:40, Port Adelaide versus Geelong in Adelaide. This is looking to be an absolute cracker. Port are $1.50 favourites. Now, Sauce, the way that Port Adelaide play finals football is not very promising if you're a Port Adelaide fan.
Yeah, the history isn't in your favour, is it?
No.
They it gets the finals and they sort of crumble a little bit. Will it be different this year? I feel like it could. They got the advantage here. They're playing in front of the home crowd. I mean, they've done everything right up until this point, Dom. I mean, they're top two. They couldn't give themselves any better of a chance to potentially make the grand final. So obviously they have to win this first final, and that will see them get the home prelim, Doma, which could potentially be the the tipping of them. The tip of them making the grand final, should they, go on. But first they have to get past Geelong. It's firms to be an interesting matchup. Obviously, Port Adelaide missing Houston after that big bump on ranking, Doma.
I'll tell you what.
I'm not sure about your thoughts on the bump.
It was a big bump, and he deserved the weeks. But have you seen what Butters did in this game?
I did. He did two bumps. It was pretty reckless.
Who? Not one.
Yeah.
Not none, which should have been none. I'll tell you what, you don't want to be doing that this week. You miss a preliminary final by being 11.
I'll be honest with you, Dom. Don't get me wrong. I love that. I love that sort of stuff, right? But the reality is,
you can't do it anymore in the game. That's just it.
That's it. It cannot be done. Like the difference. The thing is, there. If he did that and did it with it's hard because if he did a bit of like a spear tackle sort of thing and still tackled him, but did like a Goldberg spear tackle, could have still potentially knocked him out as well, right? So it's a fine line.
It's weeks anyway, because you know what it's like. You tackle someone by accident and you knock them out, you're getting weeks.
So there has to be that care factor. You just can't do that anymore. It's gone to the days where if a guy's getting a hospital ball, you can't take him out. You're like, you've got to have that duty of care as a player. But it's hard to take. Sometimes it's hard to take that out of players that are so used to, obviously going in hard for a ball. But yeah, look, probably he deserved the weeks. I don't think he can do that. It was a pretty look. I'm not going to lie. If you actually watched the bump, Dom, it was a clean bump.
Which one? The Houston one.
The Houston one. It was a clean bump.
Of course it was. He got him Byron Pickett style, but he sent him
clean
into
bump.
the shadow realm.
What knocked him out was because there was that much velocity that when he went, the whiplash of his neck
hit the ground.
Smacking the ground, and good night. See you later.
Pretty much it. You just can't do it. But who have you got for this one? The first final. Teams will come out tomorrow, I think.
I'm going to go with Port Adelaide. You know why? They had a tougher game last week. Flying back from Perth to Adelaide's not as bad as coming back from Perth to, obviously, Melbourne. Geelong's got to travel. They've got to play over there. And they played the bye last week. They played North Melbourne, won by 124 points. Didn't even have had no contest. It was literally a training run for them.
West Coast. They play West Coast. Sorry.
Yeah, West Coast. Sorry. Yeah. My bad. But they
still Hawthorn played the bye.
Hawthorn played the bye. They were both byes last week. They were both.
Yeah.
Hey, as we said last week, both those teams were already in Cancun, weren't they, Doma? Right?
Yeah, they're in Cancun. 100%.
They're already all for the Australian version, Bali or Thailand or whatever, right?
100%.
So yeah, look, I'm going with Port Adelaide.
Port Adelaide
wins. Port Adelaide wins by 8 points.
Ooh, I'm going Port Adelaide as well. I think they get the job done, and I think they'll expose the Cats over there in Adelaide. I reckon they really will.
Maddie says Port Army at home will get them over the line.
And hello, Maddie, as well. Welcome to the show. Global said if you could bring one player to the club, who would that player be and why? We can talk about that in a second. We'll just get through these, and we've got some trade stuff to talk about. The Friday night game, which source? There's been a lot of discussion about the Friday and the Saturday game. I don't know if you heard about this. The Friday night standalone game, people saying that Andrew Dillon missed the round 0, has fumbled the ball by not putting the Sydney game on the Friday. An all Sydney affair, no NRL on, try and push it into the market there. Sydney versus GWS, and he's put it on Saturday where there's a clash. The Dogs aren't happy because their women's team is playing on the Friday, and they wanted their women's team to have the standalone, so they preferred to play it on Saturday. So there's a bit of very interesting stuff there, but that game is on Friday night. It is the Dogs versus Hawthorn at the G.
The only way he gets it right is I'm not sure if you've seen his comment was, we'll see.
Oh,
What I said
90K
something along the lines of when
Jesus.
there's 90,000 people there.
You
No
would
one
have
really
got that
complained
on
about
Saturday. You would have got that on Saturday anyway, the
He
idiot.
would have. He would have. It
Fuck,
was a bit of a peanut.
he's acting as if one of those teams are coming from interstate. And not
It
for
is a
anything, a
peanut.
Saturday's probably better. Like, oh no, it would have been yeah. Well, we could have played fuck. I don't know. Anyway,
Could have
he's
played
just
it
an idiot.
Saturday night.
We could have played Saturday
Instead.
night. Anyway, dogs are $1.77 favorite. Source at the G.
I think that's.
I'm backing Hawthorn. I reckon, as I said, Hawthorn's the dark horse, mate, to win the flag. I'm going Hawks.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, both these teams are in good form. It's knockout. Hawthorn at the G, home ground. Yeah, I see it. Hawthorn's playing great footy. They have to be the hottest team of.
Jamar, the stats man, first time watcher and subscriber. Welcome, Jamar. He says he's back in the Hawks and Lions for the grand final.
Hawks and Lions. Well,
Hot
we had
ball
Lions at
going
the
to
start
do
of the
it.
year. We had Lions at the start
We
of the
had
year.
Lions,
Dom.
and
I'm
you had
going
Blue.
Hawks. I'm with you, Hawks. I reckon Hawks actually get this done.
I think they do.
By 15 points.
Yeah, that's fair. The only thing that hurts the Hawks are they got an undersized back line and they've got a lot of tall forwards. The Dogs. I don't know if you saw Jarman Impey's comments. He said he wants the ball to hit the ground. He said if the ball hits the ground in the Bulldogs forward 50, it's pretty much over for them, he said, because they'll just mop it up. But you got to get the ball to the ground. That's the problem. Jamar says Hawks by 34. Interesting. It could happen. Mate, they play good football at the G. The Dogs don't play any footy at the G, Source.
Yeah, they're hardly playing mini games there as well.
It's a big ground. There's no big ground. No, there's no roof at the G, Source. So, anyway, they have won grand finals there, so can't put it past them. The Saturday game, 3:20, Sydney versus GWS at the SCG.
I'm going to go with the Swans.
I'm also back in Sydney. I think we're pretty much going to tip the same here.
Yeah, I'm going to back the Swans.
Yeah, I'm going Swans as well.
It's going to look. I think really it's going to be a battle of the midfield. Whichever midfield can get on top wins that game. They both got. Think about GWS, their forward line absolutely killer. Same with Sydney, and then they've got their midfielders that pitch in and kick goals. So it's going to be a matter of which midfield can get on top. And I think it's going to be a great game to watch, more for the fact of the pressure. I think it could be one of those games where it's a little bit scrappy early, and then it's the team that can clean up and deal with the elite pressure that's going to be there. And in that game, who can deal with it better comes out on top. So, yeah, GWS's pressure has been phenomenal the last 8 weeks or something like that, Dom. I think they're ranked number 1 or number 2 in the comp in pressure. So, in applying pressure. So, look, it's going to be a cracking game, but I'm going to tip the Swans on their home of the SCG.
I'm going Swans as well. The MC Junior Project on Instagram says Hawks on the G will deliver. Hawks by 42. I think he's a Hawk supporter. And then he says GWS by 10. Hogan for 6. He reckons.
Toby will star. If Hogan kicks 6, it would be a great way to.
It would be probably
obviously winning the Coleman that he's done.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't think Sydney's back line and their organisation in that back 50 is too good. Their midfield is too good to allow that ease of ball use that you're going to need to allow one player to kick 6 goals. Can he get 3? Can he bag 4? Yeah, probably. Or can he get 6? Maybe not. But can I see him kicking 3 or 4? Yeah.
Maddie says Heaney and Warner 2 goals each, game over. Jamar says Swans will win by 12.
They are the barometer, Maddie. Heaney and Warner on, the Swans are flying, mate.
I can't wait till Heaney wins the Brownlow, but he can't have it.
going to be cruel, isn't it?
It's going to be very cruel. He's had a very good season. Very unlucky. And then the last game, and this is probably... I'm not... Listen, Sauce, I'm not walking into this game going it's going to be a belting. I don't know.
It's not going to be a belting.
They get 6 guys back this week. They get Kerno, Mackay, they're all back. All these guys are coming back into the team this week. And I saw an interesting stat. I was watching Footy Classified last night, and I think it was Hutchie compared him to 2016 Bulldogs when they got all the guys back before the finals. The Dogs got like Libba, Easton Wood back just before this first round, and they went through that historic run, obviously won the premiership in 2016. And he said, could the Blues do the same thing? They get all the guys back in. Maybe, the Lions don't take them too seriously and they can, I don't know, get the job done. It's going to be a big ask for Carlton. But I think it's pretty evident, Source, that if Patrick Cripps plays the third quarter on the weekend for the whole game against the Lions, could give him a chance. But Lachie Neale, as I've said multiple times throughout this season, Lachie Neale has dominated this season, like proper dominated, putting on a clinic. So I'm going Lions. I think I know where you're going, Sauce, but I'm going Lions by 24 points. We'll just go 25 points. We'll just go 4 goals.
I put a line through Carlton last week. I'm sticking with that. These guys are going to come back in. It will make a difference, obviously. Some great players coming back in, but I think Brisbane would be too strong on their home deck. They probably could have beaten Essendon by a bit more on the weekend. They missed their chances, and I think it's going to come down to this right here, Tom. Does Brisbane put away their chances that they create, because they're going to create a lot of chances, and do they put them away? If they do not do that and leave Carlton in the game, sort of giving them a sniff or allowing them to stick around, and maybe they're missing chances to go ahead and they're allowing Carlton to just stay a couple points ahead or thereabouts, then it could be danger time. So, it could go either way, but I'm going to tip Brisbane up there at the Gabba.
I'm going Lions as well, but they've been shizen, the Blues. Absolutely shizen. The last
they've been shocking.
Last 2 months of football has been deplorable. And I know they got injuries and stuff, but even before the injuries came, they struggled massively. So it's going to be interesting. There's going to be a lot of eyes on that game. A lot of eyes. Now, a few interesting things, obviously, to bring up. Jamar mentioned it up here, but Tom Barrass, which we spoke about previously on this show, he's going to go to the Hawks next year. Well, he's requested a trade to the Hawks. So huge for them. They'll get a experienced senior defender in that back line to help out Sicily, which is massive.
That's official.
Yeah, it's pretty much going to get done. That'll get done. The other one was Daniel Rioli officially confirmed he wants to go to Gold Coast, which was, let's be honest, the writing was on the wall there with Hardwick. We saw that one coming from a mile away. Shia Bolton wants out. They're saying Fremantle will get him. Could be the piece that they need. Who knows? Christian Petrarca, obviously, they thought they'd mended everything. And then in his exit interview yesterday or the day before, he said he wants to be traded. Does not want to be at the Melbourne Football Club next year, which is insane. There was also a vibe at their end-of-year function. Sam McClure was actually reporting that there's a bit of distance between him and the playing group. Looks like he's burnt a few bridges there. The rumor on the street is that he wants to build his brand, make his brand bigger. There's a lot of stuff being attached to Christian Petrarca at the moment. So wants to play in front of bigger crowds. And
Petrarca, I think there's talk he wants to go to Collingwood. I mean, it would be a good move for the Pies if they could.
Well, he wants to go to Collingwood, but Carlton's in the box seat. They're the best team. You got to remember, Source, when it comes to trade, it doesn't matter where Petrarca wants to go. Melbourne, because they've burnt the bridge, Melbourne can turn around and say, well, you've requested a trade. So it's in our best interest to do what's best for the Melbourne Football Club, and we'll send you wherever the hell we want to based on the best offer that we receive from a football club. if you don't want to be here. So
that's how
that's
it
the
should
other
be.
thing.
That's how it should be. That's how it should be, Dom. But reality of the situation is, even though that's how it should be, it does very rarely works out that way, does it?
So listen, Melbourne. All right, listen very carefully. I know he wants to play at a big club. All right, well, you want to screw him over? Don't send him to a big club. Pick 2 from North. Tom
I
Powell.
knew this was coming.
We'll give you all of our picks. And a couple players, and we can have Christian Petrarca. And you can say, stuff you, Christian. You don't play in front of big crowds. You're going to go to a bottom feeder club. And then you just slot right in there with LDU. You play half forward, actually, with the big Suv. Don't worry. We'll have the last laugh. Just send him over to the Northway. He sat down with Jai Simpkin. I don't know if you heard about that, Source.
Okay.
They're good buddies.
Tampering.
Trade tampering. Yeah, a bit of tampering. No, he's not going to North. Yeah, I think Collingwood's going to have to throw a fair bit at it. The other thing, too, I don't know if you heard about it, but Collingwood potentially in the running to get the dirtiest player in the game into the forward line next year. Yes?
You're joking. What's he, free agent or?
No. Well, I think it has to be a trade. He's got 1 year left. But if Richmond's smart, you just who cares? You pay salary and just take the picks. If everyone's leaving, just take all the picks, mate. Send Lynch there. Who cares? You pay the thing. You're going to be paying no one for a few seasons anyway because you're not going to be good, and you're going to have a lot of young kids. Just pay it. Who cares?
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
Offload the bad contract.
Yeah, smart.
He did his part. He helped them win a flag. So
now we can go to Collingwood and play 10 games every year.
That's it. Mate, just imagine they get Tom Lynch and Christian Petrarca. It's pretty good.
Pretty good, actually.
Not for us as competing.
It'd be good for the Pies, that's for sure.
Great for the Pies.
Look, they've got the name, they've got the big brand. Why wouldn't you go after them?
Yeah, exactly. Jamal says, after 2029, will Hipwood go to a better club than the Lions? Well, if anyone pays what Hipwood's actually worth at the moment, based on his current contract, well, I don't think he will. I think he's got the best situation at the Brisbane Lions, Jamal, at the moment. And if I'm Eric Hipwood and his manager, I wouldn't want him going anywhere. Because he's got some ridiculous contract that he's not worth what he's getting paid. I think he's a bit overrated, in my opinion. Matt's Card Shop says, heard that Jaden Stevenson might be done with footy. That's unfortunate for Jados. I know he's got some personal things that he's battled with. Dan says that we are 2 deep state operatives. If you don't know what that's referred to, I might have to explain that to you all in Hobby Talk. I'll make a note of it. Guy's an absolute idiot.
Thanks, Dan. Yeah, we're quite deep down, mate.
I don't. All I know is the person said the dumb thing, but I've forgotten what the topic was over. What was the topic over? Oh, Shine.
Yeah, it's to do with the director of assets.
Yeah, director of assets. I'll talk about it in thing. It's honestly the dumbest shit I've ever seen. It's dumb. Harris Andrews forward for a game. No, Jamal. Shine. Yes, it was all about Shine. All right, that's it for the footy. There's a bit happening. So who knows, by next week we could have a couple guys definitive answers on their career, where they're going to be playing in 2025. So massive. Hello, Magda. Welcome to the show. All right, let's jump into EPL. I think this could be the last one before our guest joins, hopefully. So we'll smash these out. Results. Where are we? So I saw James's comment before. Very nice. All right. I don't know why they put Man United as the opening game of the round. It's a disgrace. We lost 2-1 to Brighton. I don't know what to say. Oh, I have one thing to say, Sauce. I have two things to say. The first one, and probably the most important one. Why in the world, when you have a world-class centre-back signed to your team, is he warming up the bench and Harry Maguire is starting over De Ligt? Like, what is actually happening at Man United? And why is Garnacho starting on the bench? Rashford is a dud. I keep telling you all this. He's shit.
He hasn't even had one shot on target over 2 games.
Sauce, I told you this last season. I watch every game. We should have got rid of him. And that was the first thing. Why is De Ligt on the bench? The second thing is, why was there no goal or assist? Anthony played this week, Sauce. He said when you hear my name next season, it's going to resonate with a goal or an assist. You did nothing. I don't think he touched the ball. I don't know if you saw when Anthony came on. Anthony and McTominay came on, Sauce, and they took off Diallo, which is fair enough. They took off Amad Diallo, and they took off Bruno Fernandes.
Yeah,
your playmaker comes off.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Ten Hag makes some bizarre decisions. I watched that game, and Brighton was the better team. They deserved to win that match. I feel like, you know, in the second half they were. In the second half,
they did enough. Probably should have scored a couple.
You should have scored a couple, but isn't that the same old story with Manchester United? You have periods of play where you don't make the most of your dominance, and then it comes back to bite you. And then what was Zirkzee or whatever doing on the line? What a lemon! What's he doing?
He didn't touch it deliberately. He slid. It just hit his knee. Like, it's hard to get out of the way. Like, he if you watch the clip in live action Source, he slid to get a foot to the ball, but he missed it. So he's going forward, and unfortunately, hits the ball, and it hits him in the knee, and it goes in the goals. It's just the most unfortunate thing ever.
Yeah,
but it is what it is. What are you going to do? What are you going to do about it? Like,
I feel like he could have done better there. He could have done better. He didn't need to slide, mate. He probably should have just, ran in, and then it would have just been able to shepherd the ball in.
Rashford got an MBE from the Queen. I couldn't give a shit who he got it from. It could be knighted for all I care. I couldn't care less, mate. He should be, he should be transferred over to PSG so we can make some cash, some moolah. You got to make money on. Oh, man, it's so hard as a man. You got to make money on, capitalize on these players when they're worth something. The problem with United is we get rid of guys when they're worth jack shit. How much longer are you going to wait for Rashford?
What was the graphic that I sent you the other day, Dom?
No,
$255 million you bought all these players for, and you sold them all for $35 million or something like that.
Oh, but the problem is at the moment, like we signed Ugarte. All right, great signing. That is a very good sign. All the signings have been fantastic. All right, I'm not going to knock the club for the signings. Mesraoui dominated the first 2 games. He's actually been very good. De Ligt looked good when he was on. Xerxes been okay. He scored in the first game. Didn't do much in the second game, but you need playmakers to give him the ball. Ugarte is more of a defensive guy, younger than Casemiro, so he'll give us something. He'll actually be pretty good as well. The problem is you can't give someone a Ferrari. He's actually turned into, what's his name? They used to coach GWS. Source. I know we're talking about United here, and everyone's like, oh, he's no good. But he's been given a Ferrari. Like, the team's actually good. You can't say the team's not good. It's got a lot of talent there. It shouldn't be finishing.
Got a lot of talent there. Look, one thing I'll say, Dom, is you can't be, as Man United, you can't be going away to teams. Maybe Brighton, maybe not Brighton, but like Brighton's one of the better clubs in the league. But you can't be going away to teams where you should be dominating the ball, dominating possession, and putting pressure on constantly, and having to sit back and play on the counter-attack. You just can't. Like, maybe that's against, the Arsenals, the Man Cities, or in the big games where you're tussling 50-50 possession. But against the lower clubs, you got to go there and dominate.
Yeah, I know. We've got to boss the game. Clearly, we didn't do that.
All right, Domo.
Pretty
Let's
let's move on. We'll come back to EPL in a second.
come back.
Our guest has joined us, so I'll bring him up. Hello, Connor. Welcome.
Hello, guys. How's it going?
How you going?
Good.
Yeah, we're good.
Happy
Yourself?
to be here. I don't do too many podcasts, so it's I guess a new venture, but what we're here to talk about is exciting. So yeah, happy to be here.
No, thanks for your time. We really appreciate it. And like you said, you might not do many podcasts, but this is a massive show, and it's something that came out of nowhere in the space. And I know a lot of people, collectors, and people in the hobby are super excited about it. So when we said that you were jumping on tonight, I know a lot of people were pretty excited. So first and foremost, tell us a bit about yourself and about the Oz National.
So I'm glad to hear that people are excited. That's obviously good for us. I've been collecting since about 2010, 2011. Funnily enough, I started with baseball, which I guess is a bit weird in Australia, given its lack of popularity. But then obviously moved on to basketball, soccer, AFL, that sort of thing. And then, yeah, from there, just collected for a while. Back then, it wasn't exactly as cool as it is now. So sort of just collecting by myself. And then sort of once, like a lot of people, as COVID hit, more people got into it. That's when I could sort of share it with friends, for lack of a better phrase. And then, in 2022, started working at the hobby. I think a lot of people watching this have probably heard of the hobby. Obviously, you guys, we've seen you at shows, we've interacted before. So started working there just part-time, eventually went full-time. That's where I met Kyle, my business partner at Boot Collectibles as well. And obviously we're co-running the Oz National. And then, yeah, we sort of, we'd spoken about it for a while. We had a few people here and there tell us, hey, you guys should run a show. You do it really well, that sort of thing. But it was always sort of a back of mind idea, just obviously because the logistics and everything that goes into it. And then we had, I wouldn't say issues is probably too strong of a word, but there was just a bit of discontent with a couple of shows that run in Melbourne. And then from there, we sort of like, we should try this. We should do this. Ideally, we probably would have given ourselves a little bit more time. We wanted, obviously, it's a very short period between announcement and the show, but I think that sort of pushes us to really get things done, rather than just leaving it to not the last minute, but as things can sort of be led on. And then, yeah, so it's all come together pretty quickly. We've already got over 150 tables confirmed. So we're aiming for 200. Obviously, 250 or around that number would be amazing, but we're well on the way to 200 at least, between over 60 different dealers. Obviously, you've got the names of the hobby, Carson TCG, mix of sport, mix of TCG. Obviously, Pokemon's huge in Australia, so that's one. Figured we'd give it a crack and see what happened.
Definitely. No, very nice. I just brought it up here for those that aren't aware. So the National Trading Card Show, the Oz National Trading Card Show, apologies. It is at Marvel Stadium, the Victory Room. It's Sunday, October 13th, from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Definitely go check out their page. It's oz.national. So check it out. Definitely drop it a follow. You mentioned, you don't need to mention the shows, obviously the discontent with some things, but what were some of the things, obviously, that you thought, you needed to be improved in the space for our hobby? I'll just rattle off one. Is it space for a show, as one of them? Just room to move. That's probably something, that's feedback that we've always given. We love all the shows that we have, but sometimes, they can be pretty cramped. So room to move is always better at shows. So yeah, just some of the things that you want to present at this show that could be a bit different and hopefully better, and set an example. It's not being better, I guess, but it's like set an example for other shows to follow your lead so they can incorporate some of those things going forward.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Like you mentioned, space is a big one. I think the capacity's close to 3,000 people at any one time. So obviously that's over the course of the day, you can obviously fit more people than that. But I think at any one time, the capacity is 3,000. So there's a space and capacity for a lot of people at once. And then just, I guess, organization, communication, just the minute, the small details that you may sort of get lost in the running of things. Obviously, these events, I'm not naive. I know how hard they are to run, just working in general, but now obviously doing one myself. I understand that they are hard to run. It is hard to communicate at times. But then, yeah, just things like that. It just, communication fell by the wayside. Things weren't being answered properly or on time and promptly. And I guess for us, both individually and as we work for a card business, you sort of need to know these answers. You can't just be waiting for people to get back to you, because life goes on, business goes on. So I think, yeah, just the communication and just a bit of not unprofessionalism, but just sort of in that realm, at least in my opinion. I'm not going to speak for everybody else, but that's just sort of what I've seen and what I've felt. And we just wanted to sort of try and improve upon that. At the end of the day, we're I guess, a part of the pie, and I don't think it's physically possible to overtake everybody, as nice as that would be. We just want to work our way into where we can fit in, and then hopefully if things improve from what we do and we can learn from others as well, then that obviously in the end it suits everybody, because we understand that there's going to be other events before us, after us, straight after us even. I think there's a couple of shows in Melbourne, Sydney in November. So we're not stupid enough to think that we're just going to have one show, blow everybody out of the water, and then everything's changed. Like, we understand that these things take time. It's just we can hopefully be a part of that puzzle and sort of get things rolling to what helps collectors both on one side of the table or the other.
Beautiful.
So obviously, a lead into the goal being to have ongoing shows, whether it's, it starts one this year and then, you try to put one on next year, and maybe that's a success and that could end up to a second one later in the year. Is there goals to see how you go in Melbourne, and then maybe see if there's opportunity to have a show maybe in Sydney or another state? What's the thought process or your goals in that aspirations to setting up events and going down this path?
I mean, obviously we don't want to just stay at one. If things go well, we'd love to have at least one per year. I guess it's sort of hard because we're obviously calling ourselves the Oz National. At least the brief chats we've spoken about, obviously we've been so busy. If we were going to have shows, it would probably be capped at 2 per year. But even that, it's sort of like the National in America that happened about a month ago. You sort of, if you are calling yourself the National and you are inviting people from across Australia like we have, I think both for us, but also just for whether it's collectors or dealers, as good as these shows can be, obviously we understand how hard it is to travel, particularly if you're from far as away as Perth, for example. That's not a 2-hour drive or a 2-hour plane ride even. So we're not naive to think that we can just host events and people are going to rock up anyway. It is something we've definitely discussed. We've had a lot of people from Sydney saying you should host one here. Obviously, Sydney's probably even worse than Melbourne in terms of trying to find a suitable venue, particularly given the cost. But yeah, it's definitely been something we've spoken about, and we'd love to do it. Obviously, we just probably, at the moment, we'll get through this one, sort of see how things go from there. And then if things go really well, definitely something we would want to, whether it is you improve to a 2-day show in Melbourne on the next venture, or you then move to Sydney or wherever it may be. But it's definitely something we've discussed. I think just at the moment, given, I guess, partly our own fault, having the short time frame, I think we just want to get through this one, see what works, see what doesn't, and then assess things from there.
Beautiful. Yes, people that are watching live, you can ask questions. Feel free to do so. That's actually one question, Magda, that you put in there that I wanted to ask myself. Because it is at Marvel, just car park. Is the car park open there? We've had a few people actually ask us. So, is it open, or do we have to find parking in the surrounding areas?
It's probably a question I should have asked my business partner. I'm 99.9% sure it is open. I just don't want to 100% guarantee it in case it's not. But from the
follow them on socials. Follow them on socials, ladies and gentlemen, and that's something that you will let people know. On the socials, chuck it out on your Instagram story or whatever it is. I'm sure that they'll let people know to confirm closer to the date. But yeah, I think people are. That's one of the concerns that they have. Obviously, if they don't want to be walking, a kilometer with their card case. They'd rather be able to go in the underground car park and just go up the lift, right? So. Yeah, that will be a good one to answer, but I'm sure you'll let everyone know. So look out for that.
Yeah, we 100% will. If I would message my business partner, but I don't want to be rude. So
it's all good. All good, man. Yeah, seriously,
I believe from my chats with Kyle and when we spoke to the people at Marvel Stadium, I believe it's maybe a $15 fee for all day parking. Whether you're a dealer or a customer, obviously there's no difference. Obviously you can. For people that are just stopping by that aren't setting up, there's the train station, Southern Cross Station, just across the road. So obviously you can just walk by, but obviously I totally understand the parking issue, particularly in the city like Melbourne when it is so packed and parking is so hard to find. So we will be posting about it. There's still a lot of things, both the details like that and announcements we have to make. We're just sort of working through everything at the moment. But stuff like parking, travel for the trains, we will be announcing all of that in due time. And we're not going to leave it to the last minute. We want people to be as informed as possible. It's just, we're sort of in the process of finalizing everything in terms of getting everything ready. So it's sort of, just one of the pieces of the puzzle.
Beautiful. Very nice. You can go over to the page. I'll bring it up once again. Here it is. It is Oz National on Instagram. Check it out. Now, me personally, because I read the comments and stuff, because I like to see how excited people are. As you can see, people very excited here on the right-hand side. I saw on a couple other posts when you initially announced it. Now, you put in your bio, check the link in the bio for card prices and for tickets. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is right here. I'll show you where it is because there's a lot of comments saying, where do we find tickets? You haven't told us where to find tickets. They did mention where to get the tickets. It's right here in the bio. They said link in their bio. So you can access the tickets on the page. All right.
That's for both tickets and for anybody that wants to set up as well. Like I mentioned earlier, we've still got table space available. So just click the link, and whether it's tickets or dealers, just hit either. And then just follow the prompts from there. So
there you go. So check that out. Any last questions from anyone that's listening? Saucer, do you have any final questions?
No. Like how did the sourcing to choosing the Victory Room? I think it's it's a good venue actually. Now that I think about it, because I've seen that it's a very big space. It's enclosed. It's central. If you live on the eastern side of the city, if you live on western side of the city, well, you're going to the city. So, it's central to a lot of people. It's not like, we've had shows where, it's all the way out on the east side and you got people having to come all the way from the west, and it's pretty central. So, how was that thought process? And did you have it narrowed down to like a few venues that you found, and then you found that this was the best choice?
Honestly, it's pretty easy. As you both know, or I'm sure you both know, there isn't a great deal of space within Melbourne that can hold such a big capacity of people like that we want to see at the Oz National. Marvel was always sort of like the number one goal or idea. It just came down to obviously cost and a bunch of other smaller details that we needed to work through to make sure it was actually going to be suitable for a card show. There was a few other spots we'd looked at, but just in terms of both pricing and capacity, probably just didn't work out in terms of what we want for ourselves, as well as what would serve both dealers and people turning up to the show as well. So I think the big one obviously is its location. You can access it by car or by the train from both east, west, north, maybe not south, but pretty much everywhere else. So we have to factor in costs. That definitely played a factor as well. I'm not going to lie about that. I think compared to some of the other venues, it was a lot more cost effective in terms of what we would get from the venue in terms of how people would be able to access it. Like you said, the Cranbourne Card Show, I think for me, there was over an hour's drive there and an hour's drive back. So not that I wouldn't be happy to do that. But at the same time, you sort of want to be mindful of these things, particularly if people are bringing cases and cases and boxes of boxes. You want to make it as much as you can. You want to make it as seamless as possible. So I think the location was probably the big one, allowing as many people to come, and then obviously the small things like space, accessibility, all of that. So Marvel was definitely one, and it actually didn't take as long to sort of finalize once we did reach out and had a few ideas. So they've actually been really, really good to work with, which is good.
Fantastic.
Yeah, awesome.
Last question from anyone in the chat. Someone wants to know if there's any thought process behind getting athletes, whether it be at this event or future events.
The hard part with this event specifically is, say, AFL, for example, a lot of them would be in their away for holidays or just starting pre-season. I think they usually start pre-season around November, but a lot do come back or on holidays rather than come back sort of last week of October. So we know a few people within the AFL space. So we have thought about it. For this one, things may change, and like we're totally open to that if the right situation was to come up. Probably not at this stage, but I'm not ruling it out by any means. Just because if it does happen, I don't want to look like a fool. But definitely something in future. I think a lot of it will just come down to timing. The hard part is obviously, say we'll take the NBA for example. You want to get guys, whether it's Aussie NBA players or just any NBA player that would be wanting to come down that we could get down. I think besides the middle of the year, you're pretty much screwed no matter when you hold a card show, obviously given how far away we are from America. So AFL athletes and Aussie athletes in general that play and live in Australia, I think is definitely feasible. It would just then come down to sort of timing and whatnot in general. Just for this one, like I said before, just probably shooting ourselves in the foot a little bit with how quickly we sort of put things together. It hasn't been, in terms of getting athletes in, probably just not enough time, but definitely something we do want. And like I mentioned, we do know a few people within the AFL realm. So hopefully if we were to expand to, say, a 2-day event, you could then maybe make it one day is more of a meet and greet, a signing day with card stuff, and then the next day is just a pure card show. So I mean, we're more than open to ideas, obviously, whether it's you guys or people watching or whoever it may be, totally open to ideas. We want to make it as best as possible. We've got our own ideas and what we want to do, but at the end of the day, we're just sort of two people running our own shows. So we are under no illusions that we don't know everything, and there might be ideas that we would never think of that we'd be like, how did we not think of that? So yeah, definitely open to athletes. I think just for this one, definitely, yeah, just probably not the timing that we would have liked.
There you go. Parking available under the stadium for $12 for the day. Confirmed.
Yeah, so I thought it was 15, but it was wrong there. So apologies for that. So yeah, so perfect. Obviously,
global. Don't be like the card show, Melbourne.
So there's a bit of advice for the Cranbourne show.
Well, definitely, that's definitely the plan, to not be like them. So I won't say too much more. I don't want to discourage anybody, but yeah,
don't worry.
We can leave it at that.
Connor, you worry about your show because Sauce and I have already commented on that show. We've already said it for you without you even having to say it. So, fair enough. So you just keep your hands clean. You don't need to say anything, mate. We've already done it for you.
All done.
So, but thank you once again for jumping on.
Appreciate your time, Connor, and for jumping on. It's awesome. It's awesome.
I do just want to Oh, first of all, thank you for having me on. Obviously,
worries.
much appreciated. The more we can get the word out about the show, the better. With such a small time between now and the show, I'm not going to announce anything, but we do have a pretty big announcement coming soon. Hopefully, by the end of the week, we'll begin to tease that out on our Instagram page and on Facebook. So, to both you guys and anybody watching, stay tuned. It's probably going to be something people will be psyched about, but probably not expecting, is probably all I can say. But yeah, something very big rather, coming soon.
Nice.
So yes, stay tuned.
There's your teaser, ladies and gents. Once again, here's the page, Oz.National. If I can zoom in.
Go follow it on Instagram and make
Right
sure
here.
you
Check it
We'll
out.
begin posting it
Need your
hopefully
tickets,
tonight,
it's
if
right
not
here.
tomorrow.
go
So-
follow it and make sure you go share the post there where it's got obviously the date and their little poster to your story. Get the word out to other collectors that this is going on, because as Connor mentioned, the capacity is 3,000 people. So it'd be amazing to see 3,000 people at the show fill the capacity, and it would be amazing, yeah, obviously to have more people, the better. And the more people there are, then it obviously gives the gents down there, Connor and Kyle, the opportunity to see the success and keep running, ongoing shows for collectors here in Melbourne and potentially interstate, which Connor didn't rule out at some time. So everyone needs to sort of do their part and turn up and support these guys. And yeah, it should be fun. We look forward to it, Connor.
Very glad to hear that. So I might need to hire you guys as the hype guys to hype up the show. Probably do a better job than I, but yeah, much appreciated. Like I said before, thank you for having me on. Everybody that's watching, stay tuned to the socials. The announcements coming soon. We'll be obviously releasing more details, and obviously every time there's more dealers coming on, we'll be announcing that soon as well. If you have any questions, feel free to DM the Instagram page or just message us on Facebook, or even just get in contact with Boop Collectibles. If you have, whether it's for tickets, just general questions, or for anybody that wants to set up. If you've got any questions, more than happy to answer them. So just contact us and we'll get back to you.
Awesome. Thanks again for your time, Connor. Much appreciated.
No worries. Thanks for having me on.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
They're very good.
Very good, Doma.
Questions answered. We've got a bit of an insight into the show. Can't wait, to be honest. October 13th, Sunday, October 13th, Victory Room at Marvel. I've called it about, Eddie had about 400 times off camera. It's Marvel Stadium. I'm still living in the past.
That's Colonial Stadium. Or
Colonial,
what else was it called back in the day?
Wasn't it Ansett Stadium or something? No, Ansett Cup. No. Anyway, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be good. That's the Oz National Trading Card Show. So obviously we've got a bit to talk about in it's Dockland Stadium, says Boop. There you go. Still Dockland Stadium. Telstra Dome. There it is. That's the one.
Telstra Dome. That was that for ages.
Yeah.
That's the most famous name, I reckon. Telstra Dome.
Yeah. Beautiful. All right. We'll move on with our regular programming. We'll come back to we've got a bit to talk about in Hobby Talk. So we've got I reckon we're on the verge of a 2-hour show here tonight, ladies and gents. Just telling you, there's a bit to talk about in Hobby Talk.
So we'll go back. We're on the EPL, Doma. Yeah, Man United, Brighton game. We're done with that. United got done. United got done. 2-1.
That was the gist of it. They stink. Tottenham got the win 4-0 over Everton. Nottingham defeated Southampton 1-0. Man City defeated Ipswich 4-1. Fulham defeated Leicester 2-1. West Ham defeated Crystal Palace 2-0. Arsenal get a great win over Aston Villa 2-0. Well done, Sauce. Any comments, remarks?
Yeah, look, no, we deserve to get the victory, and with a better team. I think some great saves by Raya to obviously keep us in the game and keep it at 0-0. But overall, we were the better team. I didn't stay up and watch it live. Fell asleep. It was 2:30 fixture. I tried to stay up, fell asleep. Woke up at 4:30, seen we won, and was like, all right, I'll watch the mini game the next day. I watched the mini game, and you know what's good about the mini game, Dom, because you get a sense of, if the mini game, it's just obviously a bit longer than the extended highlights, but it gives you a sense because you sort of know how many of the attacks throughout the mini game. And I'll be honest with you, in the whole mini game, Aston Villa had like 3 attacks. And the rest was just Arsenal. So it was a lot of one-way traffic, and Aston Villa had their chance. They had a great chance. Ollie Watkins missed an absolute sitter, Dom, to put him up 1-0. And you never know, they put him up 1-0 could change the game.
It does change
the game. Missed the sitter, and he didn't take that chance, and that was probably where their sort of the downfall for them sort of began, and then Arsenal took care of business. Trossard came on. I think he was on for 2 minutes. He scored. He's not very happy, Trossard. He feels like he should be starting over Martinelli. Maybe he's probably rightfully so. Martinelli didn't do much to the end of the last season. Hasn't done much starting this season. It's only a matter of time before that maybe Trossard gets on there. I feel like Martinelli gets the start because his defensive work is a lot more better than Trossard. He runs back a lot harder and helps out the left back. So, I think that might be the case why he gets the start. But nonetheless, it was good to get the win. Aston Villa was our bogey team last year. They probably pretty much caused us to lose the title. The points that we dropped to them at times when we shouldn't have. So, it was good to get the win 2-0 on to the next one.
Chelsea defeat Wolves 6-2. They slapped them.
Crazy game.
We're watching this live with Off the Grid as well. So, all covering the race there. I'll tell you what, we've made the bet again, Sauce, me, you, and Manny. And,
You're in trouble.
And I've gone double or nothing. So, everyone agreed to it. Well, Sauce is definitely going to agree to it because Arsenal is the better out of the 3 teams. But everyone agreed to it. So, if I can somehow beat Manny, so United has to beat Chelsea, he has to buy 2 tops for me and for Sauce. But the way it's looking, I'm going to probably have to go triple or nothing next season, have to buy 6 tops off DHgate the way I'm going. They're killing me. Newcastle get a 1-1 draw with Bournemouth. That was not without controversy late in the game there.
Crazy.
Punching on with each other. Joe Linton with the clothesline from hell.
Clothesline. I was losing it. Oh, it was crazy. That game got heated, man. So heated.
Lucky there was only a couple minutes left. If there was 20 minutes left, I reckon there could have been some cards, some sending offs, mate, in that game. So, and then the last one, Liverpool defeated Brentford 2-0. James says, how did Joe Linton not get a red card? We don't know. Magda, there's 100% going to be a messy top in there for Manny. Definitely.
He's making a messy top.
100% he will. Let's get to this week's games. And, a proper team is going to open up the week. And it's going to be Arsenal versus Brighton. So Brighton's got two opening games for a round. Unbelievable. So Arsenal, Brighton, I'll definitely be tuning in for that. Then we've got Brentford, Southampton, Everton, Bournemouth, Ipswich, Fulham, Leicester, Aston Villa, Nottingham, Wolves, West Ham City, Chelsea, Crystal Palace, Newcastle, Tottenham, and 1 a.m. Monday morning, Manchester United versus Liverpool Sauce at Old Trafford. So tune in for that one. That is the last game before the international break. So Brighton could make top 5 this season. Magda, relax. They stink. They beat United, who also shit.
There's going to be a surprise team. We're going to see who's going to be the surprise team this season. Could be Brighton. We don't know.
You reckon? I don't think so. All right, that's it for the EPL. What do we got next?
Any trades? Any transfers?
Yeah, Ugarte, that's pretty much it.
That's about it.
That's the main one.
What's that? 1 more week left in the transfer window?
I think so. Well, Sancho probably will go to Chelsea, they reckon. Possibly Raheem Sterling to be offered to United. So not a bad one. I'll take him, to be honest. I'll take Raheem Sterling at United.
Friday, August the 30th at 11 p.m. London time. It shuts.
Oh, so that's Saturday morning. Yeah, Douglas Costa signed for Sydney FC. That's good. Good to see, mate.
Yeah, massive.
It's very good. Sancho to Chelsea, potential Raheem Sterling swap there to United. I saw Chiesa potentially to Liverpool. I see. There's potential there. Anyway, just follow Fabrizio, mate. He'll tell you where players are going, what they're doing. He's the main man. That's all you should be following. Don't listen to anyone else but Fabrizio. So, here we go. All right, let's move on. We've got the F1. We have the Dutch Grand Prix source. And Lando Norris, after being behind Max Verstappen, unbelievable. He slapped him. He won by 23 seconds. 23 seconds.
You know what's funny, Dom? I had a big Max Verstappen fan yesterday. I was seeing him, and he goes, Did you watch the race on the weekend? I said, yeah, I watched it. Lando's too good. The McLaren's car, they've got their car up to standard over the last sort of 6 to 8 races, or 6 races really.
This will be.
He goes. Oh, they need to investigate him. They have to be doing something illegal on the car. I'm like, come on, no one was saying anything when Verstappen was winning by 15 seconds and 20 seconds 2 seasons ago or whatever it was.
It was just what are you talking about? It was this season. The start of this season, he was winning by this much.
Exactly. So, and I just laughed. I'm like, mate, it's not that. I'm like, the McLaren's finally, one other team has finally figured out how to actually do something and make something of this season, because it looked like Verstappen was running away with it. And this makes this interesting, because if Lando's got that type of pace, unless Red Bull can do something, they have way too much pace for Red Bull now. Like, ridiculous amounts.
They're the best cars.
They are the best car. That's not even without question.
Because I put up, if you saw the story yesterday, I put it up, the current standings, and it's got. I actually did the maths for everyone, just off the top of my head, because I think about it every race. So there's 9 races left, source. All right. If he wins every race, he's 69 points ahead, Max Verstappen. All right, so 9 sevens is 63. So if he wins every race, Lando, he loses the championship by 6 points. If Max Verstappen finishes second in every one of those races. All right, but Lando has to win every race. Now, based off recent results, so you go to the Belgian Grand Prix, all right? I know Lando finished 5th, but Verstappen was 4th in that. He finished behind Leclerc, Piastri, and Hamilton. The Hungarian Grand Prix, Piastri wins, Norris 2nd. Verstappen finished 5th in that Grand Prix. The British Grand Prix, Verstappen was 2nd in that.
What I'm saying, if it was a case where Verstappen finishes 5th and Lando wins, then we're in a you're in a bit of strife for Max.
So based on him finishing 2nd, all right, he wins it by 6 points. All Max Verstappen has to do for Lando Norris is finish 3rd 3 times. So 3rd or less. So 3rd, even if he finishes 3rd, 3 times out of the next 9 races, but Lando has to win every race. That's the proviso.
Okay.
He'll win the title. If he finishes 5th, like you're saying, Source, in one of these races, or 2 of these races, and Lando wins it, that's 2 races. If he finishes 5th, Verstappen, he makes up.
He's getting more confidence, Lando. He's more wins under the belt. You get that more confidence. You get that, when you get to that same position in a race, you get that, you've got that confidence that you can get over the line. He didn't have that before. He was sort of fumbling it. He was getting there, and then right at the line, he was fumbling the ball, So now he's getting them over the line. I feel like this could be one of the greatest chase downs of all time in F1 history. Lando could come back and win the championship.
I'm going to make a bold statement, Source. Very bold. Because we saw it happen. Was it I think it was the Austrian Grand Prix. Austrian or Spanish Grand Prix. I'm making a bold statement here. Max Verstappen's had it very easy. All right? And he's changed as a driver, He's been a bit more calm because he's been winning. But the Austrian Grand Prix, when Lando pushed him a bit, and he drove him off the track, and Lando didn't finish, and then Verstappen finished 5th. All I'm going to say is this. If Lando keeps winning, just say Lando wins. All Lando has to do is win the next 4 races, all right? Max Verstappen is going to start doing Max Verstappen things of 3 seasons ago and potentially put himself in the position that Lewis Hamilton was in at Azerbaijan 4 years ago when all he had to do was finish 2nd and he forced it. Remember at Azerbaijan on the first turn and he went straight through. He didn't crash, but he finished, I think, 9th. That cost him the title that season, mind you, because it came down to the last race. If all he did was, I don't need to finish first and win the race, just finish, even if he finished 3rd, which is where he was, Hamilton would have actually won the title. I think Max Verstappen is going to be forcing it a bit, Sauce, because he's going to be feeling a bit of this in his cooler. He's going to be a bit scared because Lando's coming.
Oh, it's getting interesting. It's good, but it's good. The race was all of interesting for a total of 15 minutes, and then after that it was 15 laps, I should have said, not 15 laps, and then after that it was a domination. But it's good that McLaren, even the Mercedes are starting to find a bit of pace, and
the Ferrari finished on the podium. That's a win.
Yeah, can't believe it. Couldn't believe it.
Leclerc.
I couldn't believe
Leclerc was only 3 seconds. 2.6 seconds behind Verstappen. Charles Leclerc.
Maybe Hamilton might actually have a chance in the Big Red Tractor next season.
I reckon he's going to win it. I've said this 1,000 times, and I said it on Off the Grid. If you missed it, I have to start to learn to love Lewis Hamilton again. It's going to be hard. I might have to go to therapy to make it happen, but yeah. We'll see what happens. But it's going to be good. Will Charles at Ferrari still be good? Charles Leclerc, if you haven't seen him, we mentioned it on the stream. He's come back from the break different. He's come back with his goatee. I don't know if you've seen it. It's a new look Charles. Looks more mature. All right. Looks like he's been driving for 50 years with that goatee. He's on the podium, mate. He was up there, popping the champagne. So he's done something. It's either that or his missus likes the goatee.
Was it Mansell? Did Mansell used to have a goatee back in the day?
I
remember seeing the F1. Hang on. I've got some here.
It's got the cards here. He's going to have a look. Yeah, while you're finding that, there is a race this week. It is the Italian Grand Prix. It is Monza, 1st of September. So Sunday, 11 p.m. So check it out. Off the Grid's back.
He had the Mustaka.
It's back. Off the Grid is back. So tune in.
Is there a race Sunday?
Yep, it's back. It's back. We're on. Global, you better be there.
As long as it's 11 o'clock start.
It's 11. It's 11 o'clock. Global. Manny, I know you're not listening now, but Manny, you better be there as well. I want you all there, to be honest. If you're watching F1, we can be your race companion. Do you think Max and Lewis would ever match on Grindr, or will they be forever known as the odd couple? You're an idiot. I love the Italian race. I'll be tuned in. Beautiful. Global said he'll be there. We look forward to seeing you. All right, let's move on. Saucy, over to you. Bit of UFC.
Oh, UFC, Donna, and don't worry, I'm organised. UFC fight night. It was Canier versus Borrello. Borrello gets the victory over the 5 rounds with a decision. So big win for the Brazilian. Then you had Tabitha Riki defeating Angela Hill over the third 3 rounds with a decision. You had in the middleweight division, Ryan Loader defeating Robert Valentin with a KO in the second round. Maron Santos defeated Khan Ofif with a KO in the second round. Michael Morales defeated Neil Magny with a KO in the first round. And Gerald Mishkat defeated Edmund Shabazian with a submission in the second round. That was the main card. I won't go through the preliminary card. You can check that out for yourselves, ladies and gentlemen. There is a card this weekend. No, there is not. There is a break. Then the next card is on Sunday, the 8th of September, and that is headlined by Gilbert Burns against Sean Brady in the welterweight division. So make sure you tune in then. We'll preview that one next week on the pod.
Very nice. Global. Magda says, global, I might get into the octagon with Hasbullah. I'd pay to see that, Magda. Always stirring the pot, aren't I, Global, says Adam. Yes, you always are. Let's get to hobby talk, Sauce. We've got a bit to talk about, and we're going to start with this, mate. We're going to start with something nice and positive. Here it is. Share my screen. The great man has gone bang, all right? Bang, bang, bang with his canvas on fire cards. As you can see.
Oh, seen it. Amazing.
June, Pereira sold out 4 minutes. There's a Curry card coming out. A Penny Hardaway, which is sick.
He's got the
Johnny
design there.
Manziel. There's Johnny Man. Yeah, I'll get to them. And he's got a Tyrese Halliburton. Here we go.
The Human Torch.
The Human Torch. That's
Jeff
sick.
Curry. I might have to try and get one of those. And if I can't get one of
There's
those, then I'll have to go for the Penny, I reckon.
Johnny Manziel.
Johnny Football.
Johnny Football. There you go. There's some bloody good cards, mate. This guy is putting on a clinic. You can see my comment here. Well done, Tyson. Oh, what have I got to say? The guy's the GOAT of card designs. Full stop, bang, done, dusted. Like, I'd only jump back in the cage for Rondo, says Global. Jeez. The Johnny Football is sick, says Matt. 100%. My ship my cards lot finally getting released by Customs. Huh.
Adam. Funny enough you say that. I did see your post on the Ship My Cards Facebook page. Mate, Adam, I'll just tell you right now, when you fill out the form from Ship My Cards and it tells you to put the value for each item, never put more than $1, mate. $1 for every item. So if you've got 100 items, it's $100. So it's only going to come through as 150 declared value at Customs. And that's it, mate.
Yeah,
right?
12 kilos of cards. Yeah. If they came from the director of assets, it'd be a bit different. Definitely. That's why it's getting custom.
He made a special deal with Shine, the director of assets, mate.
Oh, man. Magda said, can we ask Tyson if he can get any tennis stars to sign or soccer? Well, tennis, I'm not sure. Soccer, he actually, like he said it on the podcast. If you haven't listened to the episode, go listen to it. He's actually tried to get Messi, and he's actually tried to get Ronaldo. But he said the difficulty with Ronaldo is because he's getting paid so much money with his contract. It's not in his best interest to go, like, do a card signing. You know what I mean? He doesn't need to. He's got to worry about his You Are Cristiano YouTube account where you got to subscribe. That's pretty much all he's worried about at the moment. Seriously.
So cheesy, isn't it? Subscribe.
I better get it so I can put in the comments. You better all follow it. We're a direct affiliate with that channel. Our channel. We're gonna get him on our show. That's it. Straight out. I'll do anything to get him on our show. Anything. So I've lost my train of thought because I love Ronaldo so much. There's a couple funny things that we need to bring up. I actually can't believe some of the shit that I've been seeing coming up in some Facebook groups this week. I sent this to Saucy, and I sent it to someone else. I sent it to another prominent member in this in the hobby, in the space. I actually can't believe this is a real thing. All right, I'm going to bring it up. You're going to probably all laugh. Oh, let me get rid of that. You're going to laugh. If you don't laugh and you actually are the one that bought this, I'll be pretty disappointed in all of you, to be honest. So, if you like shopping at Coles, Sauce, and for every $30 you spend, you get given an item when they do their promotional collectible series. I actually can't believe this is a thing. For those that are not, for those that cannot see what I've brought up on the screen, it is one of those Coles cardboard Pokemon
Builders, they're called.
Builders, yeah, the builders. I actually had a whole thing full of them in here. Oh, no, I might have got rid of them.
So you're telling me people are grading these with Beckett?
Sauce. They're grading these with Beckett. Yes.
Look at the slab they put it in, though. Is that not just
It's in one of the giant ones.
I swear people have more money than sense. And the idiots who are buying these on the pages, you are a bunch of lemons.
Does anyone want to guess how much this went for? Don't tell them, Sauce. You know. Does anyone want to guess? This is a BGS 9, mind you. BGS 9, ladies and gentlemen. Wait, you can grade that Friday, he says. Nah, it didn't go for 250 multiverse, but that's a pretty good guess, to be honest. Nah, less than 200. The fact that it's gone for more than $1 is freaking beyond me. Magda, you're almost there. Yes, Magda is the closest. Adam, if it went for 1K, I would quit the hobby. Almost there. Pretty close. It went for $110.
$110 some lemon paid for this.
It stopped, Sauce. Listen. I think if you go look at the comments, it stopped at $80 and got bumped in the morning to resume the auction. And 3 other lemons went, you know what? I'm going to bid 90, 100, 110. You're the winner. It got bumped. And people decided, you know what? Maybe I should. If you can see here, the surface got a 9.5 and the corner's got a 9.5. The center, I don't know how you can center this, gets a 9. I don't know how you center this. Can you explain it to me? And the edges got a 9.
But who actually thought of sending this in? Like
this guy, Ricky G. I'm actually speechless. I don't know what to say.
What are we doing in this hobby? What are we doing?
It gets better, Sauce.
Why are you wasting money grading these stupid shit? All of those, that 110, I guarantee you, give it 3 months, and there'll be, mate, you won't even be able to get rid of it for $5 for someone to use it as a coaster.
Sauce, I'm not done.
Adam,
you think
top one because there's only one dickhead stupid enough to grade it. No, Adam.
No. Yeah, it's pop 1 at a BGS 9, Adam. But the next day, old Ricky G unit said, I've got 4 more Zards and an Umbreon graded in BGS slabs. I can't make this shit up. I can't make this up.
Are we doing Cole's Pokemon breaks next?
I'm doing it. Well, Coles have got the
What not stream? I'm ripping Coles. Coles on what not?
I don't know if you've seen the Woolworths. Is it Woolworths? They got the Disney cards. I'm going to start ripping Disney card packs on the show. Why not?
Well. I actually can't believe this. When you showed me this the other day, Dom, I was literally shaking my head in disgust.
The Oracle was disgusted. The Oracle was for the Oracle to get disgusted about things in the hobby. It takes a bit, but when I sent this through, he could not believe what he was watching. on his screen. He was literally probably looking at his screen going,
Wouldn't the grading and shipping cost more than what he sold them for?
"No,
Well,
not if he's selling them for $110."
if you went through a bulk sub, no, I don't think so. But it's pretty ridiculous. I mean, look at the slab that you're gonna have to get it in. It's not even.
Look at this. Look. Are you seeing what I'm seeing? Look how big it is. How can you determine the centering as a 9? I don't understand. There's 3 things here. I just can someone explain to me how they get the centering?
What have they called it? Like, what have they actually called it?
Coles Builders 2024 Coles Builders Charizard. That's what it's called. The world's gone absolutely mad.
Yeah, but
Hasn't it?
it's not. It's not a card though.
Yeah, it is. It's a piece of cardboard.
No.
Doesn't it? It's still the same shit. They used to call stickers cards. Remember that Source?
So you're telling me I could just get a high quality printer, a bit of thick cardboard, and print my own card and get it sent in and graded?
I've been telling you
I'll
this
make
for
my
the
own
last
set.
4 years.
I'll make my own set.
I'd pay to see that set.
Imagine you could make your own set and you just fooled them and you
Is this-
started
is
grading
this-
your own set.
Is this what we do now? We had double coverage grading, double coverage authentication, double coverage dingers. Do we venture into double coverage builders and make a
Custom.
set? We just get cardboard like this. We push things. Surely someone will make them for us, and we'll get someone to design stuff. We'll have like me, you. We'll have Shilway in one of them. The Le Mans of the Year builder. It'll be like Goldberg when he won the Le Mans of the Year. Sack Cards, he can be on one. Uncle Ken, his is like standing on a golf course. Nat Turner. We'll get our friends as well. We'll get Cage in there. Manny can have one. We'll get Grayson a cherry. He can have
Kurt
one.
can have one. What about Kurt?
Kurt's would just be white. He's a special edition, translucent. Oh my gosh. I thought no one used Beckett anymore. I haven't kept up with the hobby for a while. Well, clearly they've ventured into new business. Beckett.
Well, eventually business is struggling, so they're grading whatever the fuck they can get their hands on.
Coles Builders. What is happening?
Oh, honestly, you know what kills me? I don't know who's a bigger lemon, the guy grading it or the guy buying it.
Oh, the guy buying it. They're both lemons, but the guy buying it. Fuck. Next week, PSA 10 Woolies cards. I'll tell you what, if you're in any Disney card groups, ladies and gentlemen, honest to God, now that I've shown you this shit, if you're in any Disney card groups on Facebook, which I'm not, if you are, and you see any of those Woolies cards come back graded, all right, please send the image through. I'll bring it up. And if you see anything else like this, we got to start a new segment on this show for Hobby Talk, all right, where it's just weird and wacky shit that people see getting graded. Just send them through, ladies and gents, and we'll happily bring it up on the show and have a chat about it. I can't believe what I'm seeing. 101, where's Juanito? Yeah, that's the chase. And just funnily enough, ladies and gentlemen, just between us, I know he doesn't listen to this show, but he probably does. But we're trying to find him, and we're actually going to try and get him on the show. If you're listening. Honest to God, I'm not talking shit now. We actually want him on the show, and we know some people that may have contact with him, and we've told them to reach out. I know he's not a fan of us. All right, we know that for a fact because we've had communication. Well, obviously, we can't contact Card Porn anymore because he's fallen off the face of the earth. So I haven't got direct contact.
I'm on the show one. Exactly.
And you know what? He's going to get a fair go too with us. There ain't going to be no Darren Ravel crap here where Darren Ravel starts going, well, you did this and you scammed that person. And I'm not going to get that. I just want to know how we pulled off the heist.
The
I
great
want,
heist.
I want to know, did he have a storyboard at home with pictures of how he was going to like rope in all these Le Mans and get his stuff on the... Just think about it, ladies and gentlemen. It could be a movie. He actually got a card porn auction on Golden and he scammed people through that. He stole BBC wrapper and wrapped shit up because people were opening it. He got on the live stream with Shine. He got Anton Griezmann signing shit. Like, it's honestly what
He was behind the camera when Drake was ripping boxes with Kenny V. The rise from Juanito. The rise.
Or
Absolute
we just call
rise.
it, or as we say it every week, we just call it Catch Me If You Can too. Whichever one. But genuinely, one, if you're listening to this, which I know you're
Hardcore
not,
movie coming out soon. Yeah, it would make a great movie. It really would.
it'd be unbelievable. I don't know who'd play him. Juanito. Who's like a We'll get Antonio Banderas to play him.
Need a mustaka, yeah? You need a mustaka.
Yeah, Antonio Banderas. That'd be a good one. Drop in the chat. Drop in the chat who plays Juanito, who plays Ken Golden. Drop in the chat. Who plays who in the film? That'd be great. That would actually be great. Just put in who would be the actor.
You know who's Ken Golden? Michael Rappaport.
Tom Cruise plays one. Pedro Pascal, that's a great one, Matt. Pedro Pascal plays Juanito. Oh, man. Oh, we need an all-star cast. You can have your comedy one, but I'd get Kendrick Perkins can play Drake. 100%. John Travolta plays Ken. I get Jason Statham to play Ken, to be honest. Oh, man. Get Kim Kardashian to play his daughter. So... shit. Oh, my God. Directed by Tarantino. Yeah, we make it like the most violent film ever. We have like Pedro Pascal as Juanito, like killing everyone to get these limited edition fake Jordan jerseys. He's got people working in a sweatshop making all the Jordan jerseys, and he's there signing it in the background. It's just, yeah, we should do something like that. He's working in with the cartel. I don't know who plays Shine. Director of Assets is in it too, ladies and gentlemen. So it'd be an all-star cast. All-star cast. Anyway, let's move on. Another funny one, Source. Talking about jokes. I've been made aware from the Oracle that Topps Chrome unlicensed NBA basketball is selling for $500 USD a box. And the best card you can get, like one of the best cards you can get in there is a Wemby rookie. And it's selling for $100 USD. For an unlicensed product. Now, Oracle made it pretty clear. He said in 1 year's time, when the licensed version comes out, no one's going to care about the unlicensed Wemby. They'll just think of something else. Or they'll just go collect the Panini Wemby that's licensed. So these people are just... Why they're spending $500, 500 US, it's like 650 Australian dollars.
That's overtime.
So
Yeah, $479.
it's a joke.
USD, $460 USD for a box.
It's gone mad. The hobby's gone mad. Straight up. It's lost the plot.
Yeah, look, just be wary about that sort of stuff. I think, it will hold a little bit of value, but, it's that old saying, don't get suckered in at the start of a release, The prices are always astronomical when things first drop. So, wait for the dust to settle. And, if you want to still collect that card or, then go for it. But yeah, just be careful, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, we know for a fact that people favor licensed gear more than unlicensed gear. There's going to be this, there's still going to be a demand for that Wemby stuff because, it's going to be his RC logoed stuff, especially the autos and that, where you got the RC on it. But yeah, I think just be wary. Just be wary.
James says Topps Chrome Tennis is the buy. I completely agree with that. And also Topps Dynasty Champions League came out and the cards look unbelievable, man.
Yeah, it looks great.
Topps Chrome looks like Baywatch Pam Anderson on a bathing suit. Unlicensed. Top Chrome looks like the bathing suit. Looks like me in a bathing suit. I like it. Couple more. Which one do you want to go to first? Source. Let's go to the card show with the on-site grading that you wanted to talk about.
Oh yeah, right. Let me find it quickly.
Oh, we need Topps Chrome lawn bowls or 10-pin bowling, says Magda.
All right, so I'll bring it up, Doma.
Bring it up, Source. There's
up.
been some gems this week, absolute gems.
So here we go. Here's this is Slab Mags, showing that showing off the I don't know, stop playing, but showing off that he's got Kurt's Card Care at his booth. He's selling it at the Burbank Card Show, which went past over the weekend. Obviously pretty cool. And then someone in the comments goes, isn't PSA now rejecting cards that show evidence of card care products, right? And then there's a few replies. I'll drop them down. Yes, last time I checked, someone commented. And then underneath, someone who was actually at the show commented, there were on-site card cleaners prepping cards for grading, and they weren't rejected when submitted. So they had on-site graders there at the Burbank Card Show. People were prepping them up with the old Kurt's Cum Care right there at the show and submitting them to the on-site graders, and it was all good. So that just tells me, Doma, that after the whole fiasco, old mate thanking Kurt's Cum Care while he was in the PSA offices, and then that whole fiasco after that, how it all blew up and everything, and they've come out with a statement saying blah blah blah. This we're not. It's card altering. We will not accept it. Da 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 da. Here they are at the Burbank Card Show this gone weekend. So literally 2 days ago, Doma, accepting cards after they've just been prepped with Kurt's Cum Care.
If I was setting up a show, I would have put Kurt next to PSA. I would have done that. For a fact I would have done that.
I'm telling you, if I ever get over into a show to get the chance to on-site grade, I'm just going to do it just for the piss take. I'm going to do a video there and then, me, Kurt, coming it up with Kurt's special jizz, take it straight over and submit it and get the grade back and just prove to everyone it's complete bullshit.
Source, I'm telling you, when they released that, we spoke about it on the show. They just did the business thing and released a press statement to just address the fact that they were copying so much backlash over this Kurt's Card Care thing. They just did what was right in the eyes of the collectors and people that were criticizing him, but they don't give a flying you-know-what. They don't care. They just did it to show face. And then they've just gone, we just want to make more money. And I'm just going to backtrack here. I hope, Magda, you got your safe search on, first of all. When you're looking that
safe
up.
Search off. Safe search
on.
off.
Splendor. Splendor. You're going to melt his brain. Just poor Magda.
Search up Pam Anderson and Tommy Lee.
Sauce, you're an idiot. You're an idiot. The poor kid. Get the tissues ready. Oh, man. I was like, oh, my God. That's the best.
Oh,
Magda.
that's great.
Oh, jeez.
You
Oh,
learn
my God.
something new every day,
Adam.
Magda.
Adam and Splendor just corrupting Magda in the chat. Absolutely corrupting. Anyway, just like PSA is corrupting the whole hobby, mate. Seriously. I
Well-
would have put Kurt next to him. It's like, but who cares? Like, who cares?
I'm just pointing it out because to people, after that whole thing, it's still the same. Nothing's changed.
But just remember,
you can spit and shine your cards. You can, go to Super Cheap Auto or Auto Barn and buy your wax shine and chuck it on there.
The other thing
they don't know.
The other thing you always need to remember too is if a card comes in and it's in shit condition, all right, and it's a premium card, in there, like you get charged that buyer's premium at PSA for the value of the card. If it's a good quality card, they're going to charge you more. So not for anything, they want as many Kirk Card Care cards to come through the doors because then they'll give you the excess fee.
Yeah, higher fee.
That's
higher value.
Think about it. Like that's the whole reason why. Who cares? PSA don't care because they're making more money. So why should you care? Like, why should people in the hobby care if you're using it to get better grades?
Can you use Kurt's Card Care right in front of them? Yes, you can. The guy said he used it in their offices and they did nothing about it.
Unbelievable. All right. Second last thing, the deep state comment. Man, Shine. I'm just going to bring this up because I just need to mention it. Dan was in here before and he said that Sauce and I were two deep state operatives. The reason why I'm saying it is because Sports Card Radio had a live stream and they were talking about the director of assets. And obviously at the National, we had this, was it National Fanatics? Anyway, one of them, he had his big collection there and everyone was like, he's a plant, he's this, he's that, blah, 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 blah. Now, we obviously know what his background is. And if you've listened to the round table, you would know what his background is, the director of assets. And I love AIH. I love Rahul, man. But seriously, he comes in and says that he's a deep state operative and he's a plant and he's this and that. Just stop it. All right? All right? He plays in the snow. That's how he made his living. That's how he made his money. He's the director of assets at a crypto company, which bankrupted a lot of people, mate, and went bankrupt itself and took a lot of money and they paid no one back for all the money they took. More crime. So that's how we can afford all these patch autos, triple autos, this, that, this, and the rather, mate. So who cares? We've put this, like, we haven't, but everyone else in the hobby's put this guy on a pedestal. So who gives a shit? And you're worried about Juanito when you got all these other figures in the hobby running around doing shit like this, you know what I mean? And you're worried about one. Like, come on, man.
That's what gets me, yeah. What did I say? Let's celebrate a man who loves a snowy Christmas.
But I'm telling you,
just celebrate him.
If Juan, you could come back, just come back, man. I will nominate you for an Order of Australia medal for what you did. I honestly would. Or at least Australian of the Year. At least. Oh, you think I'm joking, mate? He was the easy target, the scapegoat, because he lived down under, far away from all their businesses in their country. True. He was in another country where he was based, so they're just gone, let's push all the blame onto this guy. He's the scapegoat. Everyone look here. Dangle the carrot over here, and they were doing all their business over here, mate. That's all it is. And it's, one this, one's a this, one's a that, blah, 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 blah. Like, really? Like, get him on the show. Come on. Juanito, get here. Nah, Lemon of the Year, Juan. Nah, he's not winning that. No way. I'd sooner nominate him for Australian of the Year than give him Lemon of the Year. There's a lot more lemons, as we've seen in this hobby over the last 4 years, than what he did. Fuck. Man, we could give it to the guy that graded Coles builders. So, jeez. Fuck.
Don't get me wrong. One did do some very dubious stuff.
Yeah,
And
he did.
look, you got to understand, it started in art and it moved over to cards, and he's through and through a disingenuous person. Let's just put it that way. So
But we still watch
anyway,
him on the show.
we still want
So-
you on the show. We would love to have you on. You can disguise your voice and have a black screen, whatever you want to do. You don't even have to.
Everyone knows what he looks like anyway.
Oh,
Just get him on.
That's a fair point. We don't know
Give
where
it-
you are. We're not going to track your location.
Give it to the company that graded the centering. Yeah, well, Beckett could get Lemon of the Year for grading the centering on that piece of cardboard. It's not even a card, to be honest. Last but not least, another one from you, Source. We forgot to actually speak about this on the show last week.
I could speak about this
because
last week.
we've been talking amongst each other about this, but people have actually asked us when this show was going to happen again. And we're like, no, we don't know. We haven't heard much about it. And then Source, obviously, we saw this statement come out. If you're in, it's now Lunar Cards. But Saucy, I'm going to throw it to you because it's very interesting and it's actually sad.
Yeah, it is sad. So I'll bring it up and I'll read it through. So I've seen this posted in Pokemon TCG Trade and Sales Australia group. Someone actually sent this to me. It says, our last update to the unfortunate state of TraCon 2024. As many of you know, the event was scheduled for this week on gone by, and with still zero contact from the sole organizer, Kevin Chin, the event never happened. Sadly, this confirmed our suspicion that something had gone very wrong. We would like to offer our sympathy for those impacted and urge you to apply for refunds through your bank, CC/PayPal, before the window closes. Now that we know for certain the event didn't happen, you can let your payment party take the reins. For those struggling, my DMs are always open and gladly help wherever possible. Lastly, Kevin Chin has been permanently removed from this group, and members are advised that if you ever choose to deal with Kevin in the future, please exercise extreme caution. It is sad that it is a sad day when a prominent member of our community lets us down like this. Finally, please show some love to the boys over at Lunar Cards in Melbourne. Their names have been dragged through the mud on this one, despite TraCon and Lunar splitting apart permanently late last year. Lunar have been doing all that they can to convince Kevin to tour, but like everyone else, have been met with total silence. Please remember to support your local business folks, no matter where you are in the country. So, by the looks of it, Doma, this is, and it's pretty sad. Old mate Kevin Chin has done a runner with everyone's money. We had that drama of not drama, but we had that last year where it was obviously Tra Collective was the shop, and we've been to the shop. We've actually got I've done a vlog on the shop when we went down there, Dom. So it's up on our channel. You can find it. We had a chat in there and chat with we always dealt with Gabe, right? He was always a nice bloke, and always had the time for us. Even came on the show to talk about TraCon before the first TraCon that was last year. We even went to TraCon. It was a great show. We talked it up. We've done a video on our channel, a bit of a vlog showing you guys what was going on there. Ran over 2 days. The vendors that we spoke to there said it was really good, a real great run event. They obviously had a big card artist. They had the original base set Charizard designer in to get autographs, and a number of other TCG games that to get autographs from those designers they were in as well. So there was a lot, and it was a really one show. It was at Raw Exhibition Center. Everything was good and well, TraCon had that connection to Tra Collective. Late last year, Tra Collective was no longer. It was changed to Lunar Cards, and the announcement was that Kevin was going to start Tra events or something of that nature, and he was going to focus on TraCon and Tra events, and was going to be running events, and Lunar Cards was sold off to the other guys, and they were going to be taking the shop front and obviously the day-to-day card business, and Kevin was going to focus on the event. But it looks as though that Kevin's motive was to just run one successful TraCon, then pull the wool over everyone's eyes in the second one, sold a bunch of VIP packages, pre-release tickets, all this sort of stuff that now he's done a runner with the money. And depending on how long ago you paid for these things, if it's gone past the X amount of time that you're allowed to do a chargeback on your PayPal, 90 days, I think it is, PayPal and credit cards and that, you've lost your money pretty much. I don't know if you're going to be able to get that back if you can, especially, depending on what ticket merchant he used, what their terms and conditions are. He might have been very savvy and known all the terms and conditions and known when people can't claim their money back and probably stop taking payments after a certain period of time so people can't claim back. I don't really know. But it's sad to see this happen, when you got a member of the community that started something like Trial Collective. He was the original sort of, I think him with a few blokes were like the original sort of starting group of Trial Collective. And, then they created TrialCon. It was a great event. I thought, when I see TrialCon last year, I thought, oh, how good is this? We're going to have, they're going to have now TrialCon 2 and 3, and it's just going to get better and better and better. They've already done such it was so well set up. They had Pokemon TCG tournaments. They had Magic the Gathering tournaments. They had
it was a Comic-Con of TCG cards.
Yeah, it was really set up really well. You had people obviously dressing up in anime characters.
Yeah, check out our saucy roaming sauce there. You were out of your depth on that one, but it was very funny.
But yeah, look, it's really, really sad to see this. And what first and foremost, we will obviously we can only speak for speak on obviously Gabe. He's always had a lot of time for us, so feel sorry for him and whoever else he's involved in that situation. But like as far as I know, he's a genuine guy. He's got the shop front. Every interaction I've had with him or we have had with him has always been pleasant. So it's disappointing to see that, other members are having to have their names dragged through the mud because of one sort of greedy and prick of a bloke in Kevin and what he's decided to do in this situation. But yeah, it's unfortunate, but yeah, Kevin Chin for taking people's money and, doing a runner. You, sir, are a lemon, absolute lemon. You took away what was,
great show,
could have been something great. And whether it was because he didn't want to deal with everything or deal with the stresses or whatever it may be.
It's got nothing to do with that shit. He just saw how much money it made on the pre-sale, so you put that stuff up. It's easy cash flow, and he just rides off into the sunset, mate. Like you said, you do it long enough before the show, you run away with the money. And that's why when we spoke about that massive collectible show 3 weeks ago, that's happening next July. And I said to you, there's pre-sale tickets. You can actually buy them now to secure them, not to buy anything till a couple months before.
Yeah, we said
because it could turn out to be the exact same story. There's always tickets, mate. They're going to sell you the ticket to get
the Collect Fest. The Collect
Fest. Those things are never going to be bigger than a Comic-Con.
Correct.
So they're not going to sell out like a Comic-Con, and you're going to have to do double coverage things to get into the show. So that's why just be very, very wary. And the saddest thing about that source, how many people, there was a few people we spoke to off camera at TrialCon. Remember, we're getting a coffee, and one of the organizers was there, and we spoke to another person inside inside the show as well. How excited they were for it. They were talking about how much work was put into it and the stress, but how rewarding it was and how great of a show it was. And they were looking forward to the second version of this show next year. They couldn't wait. They were actually blown away by how many people turned up. So,
and we can only speak on our experience there and how well they promoted it, and from the people that we seen, how many were there when they rocked up and the day we spent there. So, man, I think it was done well, and I had high hopes for TrialCon, but Yeah, unfortunately, yeah, you never know. You never know in this hobby, and it's sad, because we've seen this situation before. With other card shows, it's just the other card show obviously not being to the grandest of scales, but this one was to such a grand scale, and you would have thought, hang on, you had such success with the first show, why would you not want to follow through with the second show? But obviously, dollar signs and greed is the downfall of a lot of people in society these days, really, Doma, and this case has been no different. Old mate Mr. Kevin Chin has done a runner, and he's a lemon, and it's why we try to get people on to have a chat about these shows before we sort of why we want to get Connor on tonight and have a chat to him about the Oz National and who you are and what you go and that. And it's funny enough because even though Kevin was the organizer of all these Trarcon and all that, we never even met him, Dom, you and I, or we never even knew who he was.
Kevin, no,
right?
no idea.
Yeah, we only ever dealt with Gabe and I think one other bloke was always the face that fronted up.
Yes.
Right?
He wasn't one of the guys that was enthusiastic, but there was someone handing out vapes at the coffee joint. I threw my one in the bin. It was up here.
The THC vapes, yeah. Oh wow!
But yeah, there's a few other big things in the loop too in the space. I don't know if we can even talk about some of the stuff like an email that was sent through to us. I don't know if we can make it public. It doesn't say anything in the email about but there's a massive show coming
next
year, like massive.
Yeah.
So
this could be the biggest show. And, if they're able to do things right, it might be the biggest and baddest show that we have in the country at this point in time. In this,
100%. It will be. It will be the biggest show to date, ever, in the space, in the history of the hobby in this country. To be honest, it'd be pretty big, but I don't know if we can talk about it.
And it is set to be in Melbourne. So sorry for those people that are listening from interstate, but if you are wanting to get involved into the big show, which we don't want to say anything because we don't know whether we're supposed to release the info, but it should be later.
You do nothing, Magda.
Next year.
What you do is you come find me and Saucy, and I put the mic on Sauce, and he goes roaming Sauce on the person and goes, "Oh, how you going, mate? What's your name?" And he goes, "Oh, I'm Kevin." And he goes, "Oh, you look familiar. You didn't have anything to do with Tra, did you?" And he might be like, "Oh, yeah." And then the moment, we'll have a phone, we'll know who the person is. But if we actually knew what he looked like, Sauce would just walk up to him straight away and be like, "Hey, man, how do you go about robbing people of their money?" Have you realized yet, or have you not realized that you're a fuckwit?
That you're a lemon.
That's what you do. You don't get into it. You don't kick his ass, Magda. We don't want you getting in trouble, right? Don't resort to violence. Magda said he's got to sort him out for Gabe. No. Just, citizen's arrest by Vossi.
Seen that. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, it's very funny. Well, that's it for us. 1 hour 52 and counting. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks again to Connor at the Oz National for jumping in and giving us a rundown of the show that's coming up on the 13th of October. Once again, go check out their page, oz.national. We will tag it in the description. We'll put something out on the socials as well. Tickets can be found in the link in their bio, so definitely check it out. Great to see that the parking is included. Is of open source, $12, pretty good. And there's heaps of space down there, as you know. So we won't have to be stressing about getting a car spot. On that note, keep living, loving, and breathing sport. I'm Dom with the Great Man Sauce. And once again, peace out.
Please like and subscribe. Thank you for tuning in. Please don't forget to leave a review on the Apple Podcasting app. Also, follow us on socials, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok. Talking all sports, double coverage.